Hello and welcome to week 5 unit 3 localization. In this unit I will talk about various aspects of localization in business by design. We have included this topic of localization as part of this course because it's important for our learners to gain a fair understanding of localization and how to localize a country using SDK, where a standard by design version is not offered. So what does localization mean? Localization in simple terms means the process of adapting a software to meet the needs and expectations of a specific country or region. This is with respect to the language, law and business practices that exist in that country. Localization of a country certainly includes the following steps: identify the local regulations and business practices, transform them into business or software requirements, implement these requirements or enhance them using business by design, meet the local tax regulations of the country and thereby ensure the software is legally compliant. Now let me explain you the localization flavors offered in by design. By design could be offering in certain countries as a standard version, a pre-localized version or a tax basic country. When SAP provides a standard country version, we support customers to run business on SAP Business by Design, meeting the international standards and legal requirements. We cover by default the functional aspects of localization by adapting the solution to the common legal requirements and best practices of a country and ensuring our customers to be legally compliant. The other aspect of standard country version is internationalization, which enables the solution to be used globally by supporting Unicode, different currencies, time zones, calendars, etc. Translation ensures that we translate the SAP Business by Design solution into other languages, focusing mainly on the UI and the documentation for certain languages. Pre-localized country, these are countries that can be scoped and where SAP offers partial localization. The content delivered differs for each country, but it is mainly in the area of taxes, customer facing forms and sometimes country specifics. It is an enhancement of the tax basic country. Tax basic country is a country with the minimum enablement by SAP. Some basic tax events and tax codes are made available by SAP to cover the basic scenarios like domestic sales and purchases, export and import and reverse charge. The generic tax return is enabled for tax basic countries. In addition to this, a partner can address the requirements of a non-localized country using the localization toolkit. We will see localization toolkit in a while. For the taxable countries, there is a standard and a zero VAT rate available. Some reduced and special reduced rates are available where applicable. In case such a rate is missing for a country, it must be created by SAP. Exemptions are usually not included, but such scenarios can be enhanced based on partner or customer feedback. Now with this understanding, let's look at the global presence of by design. This slide gives you a clear understanding of the localization footprint of business by design. By design is implemented in over 140 countries. Standard country versions, that what you see on the leftmost side of the slide, as you can see it is offered in 20 different countries, Israel being the latest addition to this list. We support 12 languages in the standard in by design. In the middle of the slide that you have kept SAP pre-localized countries where a country can be scoped by default. Tax codes, for example, withholding tax, both standard and reduced, customer facing forms, for example, in logistics and financials. These are available in SAP pre-localized version. We offer 115 tax basic countries in by design, where basic tax codes are pre-delivered in by design. With a tax basic country, a generic tax return is possible within by design. In addition to this, to support the operations outside these countries, customer or country specific localization capability has been added. If the intention is to enable an implementation partner or the IT department of a customer to extend and adapt SAP Business by Design in such a way that locally compliant operation is possible in a country even though an SAP country version is not available. Partner country versions like Nigeria and Ghana are examples of this. To give you a good coverage of the localization toolkit topic, I would also like to touch upon customer language adaptation tool in by design and SAP Translation Hub services. that can certainly help the customers and partners when implementing a partially localized or non-localized country. So what is a language adaptation tool? It's a key user tool that lets the ByDesign users to translate selected work centers and work center views to preferred language. Users can access this via application and user management work center. First step here is to pre-select the set of languages as part of the fine-tuning activity. A text pool is created based on your language selection in BC that lets the user to select the target languages and work centers for translation. Later, a text pool execution run collects all the relevant text in this pool based on the work center selection and translates them. In principle, the UI elements of views attached to these selected work centers are translated. You could then log off and then log in back to the ByDesign UI with the new preferred language, and you could see the specific text that needs to be adapted already translated. Language translation was an expensive, challenging task for any business software. To overcome this, SAP introduced SAP Translation Hub services. It's a one-stop shop for multilingual UI text services. SAP Translation Hub lets the user to translate the UI text by using a repository of SAP approved translations and terminology as well as machine translation. You can access the translation resources by consuming a range of API methods or by using integrated workflow scenarios on a UI. To learn more about SAP Translation Hub, you could also visit the OpenSAP course. So with this, I come to the end of this unit. To summarize, we covered localization and various aspects of localization and SAP ByDesign footprints. Last but not the least, I also touched upon the customer language adaptation tool and SAP Translation Hub. For more details on localization and roadmap on 2019, refer to the localization section in this link that I have provided here in the SAP Business ByDesign page. I hope you enjoyed this unit. See you again in the next unit where I will talk more about localization toolkit. Thank you.